Hey everybody, Jonah from Nonwar here. I'd like to talk a little bit about what I do when I'm afraid of making decisions about game design. That happens a lot. Um, I tend to find that it's easier to do technical work, just messing around with programming, when there are hard either game design or just general sort of project management direction stuff to do. Um, I've said for a long time that I'm in the end phase of finishing Space Beast Terrified, and I still feel like I'm in the end phase of finishing Space Beast Terrified. Like this time, I mean for real. There are only a few things left, um, but that's provocative. I find it to be very stressful in a lot of ways, not least because the game has been in early access for 5 years. And what did I write in the on the Steam page? It's like, oh, we'll be in early access for 6 months. Yeah, hindsight and all that. But anyway, when I'm procrastinating, I tend to do it. I've found that I tend to do a lot of code refactoring, and it is the case that I have a lot of code that I'm maintaining. Currently, 223 Visual Studio projects in a single solution. And that was something that I decided to start doing a long time ago, maybe at least 10 years ago, that the concept of just, putting all of the stuff that I want to maintain, speculative code, unfinished projects, projects that have shipped, projects that are in development, all that kind of stuff. I just put it in a big pile and maintain it all, not least as a future investment of projects that might come out of some sort of cross pollination. Um, but it's turned out to be really, really positive. I mean, on the plus side, everything sort of just works together. A typical game will not be this much stuff like all these projects. But for example, let's look at the current iteration of Space Beast Terrorfright. I think it's here somewhere. Here it is. It's that many projects. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's like the stuff that's project specific, all the different parts of Space Beast Terrified. And incidentally, it's called PBTF now internally because I have many parallel versions, SBTF, and then I went backwards in the alphabet, SBTF, RBTF, QBTF, and now PBTF. And this, I aim for this to be the final one. This should be the final one. Any case, that's a typical game. And then there's some, support stuff going on. Like one really classic one is, for example, Core, which is a bunch of, basic stuff. And then there's like the X9, which is I'm refactoring that right now, but that's like the DirectX stuff, the renderer stuff. But anyway, procrastinating and refactoring together, that's procrastifacting in my mind. And it gives me a really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, to be like, oh, I'm improving my code base. But as many project managers know, refactoring doesn't really add any value, not any externally visible value to a program. It's just like restructuring it so it's easier to change and maintain. So it's certainly valuable from a business perspective in the long run, but it's one of those things that, it's certainly procrastination in this case at least. So I expect to be putting up some videos, many different kinds of development videos. But here are some videos that show the refactoring of a project called Z Fighter, which it hasn't been shipped or anything. It's just an idea that I've had for a really long time. It has a lot of commonalities with Space Beast in the way that the world is built and the map works and such and such. So that's an example of how things move around between projects. But in this case, I'm trying to show some tendencies in my coding style these days, which has to do with moving away from object orientation, trying to simplify things, trying to do a big split between immutable and mutable state. Those are deep topics, and hopefully I'll get around to doing more of an instructional or sort of lecture on like what do I mean. But until then, maybe this stuff will be of interest to you. I apologize upfront for the varying quality of the audio because I was learning OBS, and it's a sort of a couple of test videos. And also thinking about, like, should they be that long or should they be shorter? But anyway, I wanted to put them up there so maybe someone will get something out of it. And certainly, I feel quite strongly. I feel that I really like the idea of perhaps the educational value of stuff like this. So it is what it is. But here's some procrastifacting for you.